Hello everyone, I hope you're having a good day so far. I hope that your day is going good. I really do. So today I have a thrift flip to share with you that I hope gives you some inspiration, and let's just begin with it. I'm Lizzie and welcome to this video. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. So I found at Goodwill this very cute sign that someone DIY'd. I bought it because it's a great wood piece. Now, I don't decorate for St. Patrick's Day, but I want to show this off because I think they did a really super cute job with it, and I just want to give it some video time because it's a cute idea. So I did change it though, but it's still a cute idea. So I felt bad about sanding it down. I didn't want to show it on camera, but the first thing I did was sand it all down, and then I painted it with acrylic white paint. I'm going to use parchment paper, and I'm going to use it to help me make a template. So I'm going to draw, because I'm going to make half of a pumpkin, and then I'm going to draw on the parchment paper how I want the pumpkin to be, and then I'm just going to cut it out and then use that as my template. Now I'm using orange acrylic paint, and I'm going to paint around my template. It's funny how this makes me think of the laughing emoji. If I just put eyeballs at the top and then it looks like it's laughing. So now what I'm going to do is paint with the orange acrylic paint and just paint inside of that tracing I just did. So now I'm going to attempt to paint a pumpkin, and this is my first time doing a painting of a pumpkin. And I first went in with I did black lines first, and then I went in with my other colors like brown and white and a little bit more orange. I only had one color orange, and it was this bright orange, and I wish I had other colors of orange, because I think if I had a lighter color orange it would have been better. But yeah, this is my first try, and I kept changing it though, and until I was happy with it at the end. And I think if my pumpkin painting skills get better, I'd probably go back to it and paint it. But yeah, I just used black, brown, white, and then the orange. And I did a lot of blending, and I try to do shadowing. So with blending, you don't want to wait until the paint dries. You want the paint wet, and so then you can come in with the other color and blend it together. But if you're a painter, then this is probably going to be a breeze for you. But if you're not a painter, then I thought it would also be cute to get one of Dollar Tree's foam pumpkins, and the bigger ones, and just cut it in half, and then you can hot glue that on there, and then that would work too for this project. It probably wouldn't work as a reversible sign unless you have it standing on its own, but yeah, I mean, that would be a cute idea though. Now I'm going to be working on my flowers, and I wanted to make the flowers out of fabric. So I have fabric from Walmart and the Dollar Tree. I wanted them to look like they have a lot of petals, so I gave them each 3 layers. Each layer is a different size, and that gets bigger and bigger. And I measured each size with a different object around my house. So I have Scotch tape, which is going to be the bigger one, and then it gets smaller. The jar I'm going to use for the medium size, and then the paper roll is going to be the smaller size. For the jar, I did do a different fabrics because I'm using 2 different fabrics. And now I'm just going to cut 4 slits around each of the circles that I cut out. So this is how it's going to look once they're all together, and then I'm going to crunch them all up to give them some creases to make them look a little bit more messy. You can iron it, and then that can help give it more creases if you want to iron the fabric, like fold it and then iron it. And then I'm going to use a gem for the center, so this is how the flower is going to look before. He's trying to narrate. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the yellow fabric, but I'm only going to use one fabric instead of two, but I'm going to do the same thing with the measuring. Now I'm going to make white flowers, and I'm going to use a white fabric from Walmart and a doily from the Dollar Tree. So now I'm hot gluing each piece on. So I organized the orange and yellow flowers the way I wanted them, and then I started hot gluing. So each individual piece I had a hot glue, and it really wasn't as tedious as I thought it would be. I could have, if I wanted to, stitch the three fabrics together and then hot glue it all at once, but yeah, that wasn't necessary. So I'm just hot gluing now. I'm going to take this antique gold paint and I'm going to paint some stems on. I'm also going to use this sage green paint for the stems, so it's going to go a little bit on the antique gold. I kind of wanted the stems to look like they had thorns, so I painted a little bit of thorns on them. I ended up deciding to add some of the reindeer moss to this, just to make it look like the flowers were planted in the pumpkin. And I also wanted to add some jute twine, and this was kind of just something that I wasn't really sure about, but I just went for it. And I thought it would be a lot more tedious than it actually was, but what I did was I hot glued a piece of jute twine one by one. And this was something I really wasn't sure if I should do, but I just went for it, and I surprisingly didn't burn myself, and surprisingly it wasn't as tedious as I thought it would be. Maybe because I just did the bottom part, but yeah, I hot glued it on, and then I cut the piece off. So that was kind of better than measuring each piece one by one. So it was just gluing the twine on and then cutting it off with scissors. And then I decided to go back on the gems and paint them with the antique gold paint. The last thing I did was add some words to my pumpkin, and I just grabbed a pack of Harvest D.I.Y words, comes in the 6-pack at Dollar Tree, and I chose Hello Fall, and this is how it all came together. I think it came out pretty. I did have to go back on my pumpkin and do some touch-ups because adding everything kind of changed the shape of my pumpkin, so I did have to do some touch-ups, but all in all, I think it came out really pretty. Now it's time for Halloween, and I just flipped this sign over to the back and I painted this board all white. I'm going to use this shelving paper that I found at the Dollar Tree. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it has the stickiness to it, so I can just peel and stick it on to my board. Okay, so to get a good measurement on this, I just simply peeled and stuck this onto my board and then used sandpaper and around the edging, and so I just sandpapered this and then I peeled the extra off, and it was really easy to do. I'm going to take this canvas from the Dollar Tree and I'm going to take it apart But I'm going to keep the unicorn because I think the unicorn's cute for a later project in the future. Next, I painted the frame black with acrylic black paint. I'm going to hot glue the frame on with Gorilla Hot Glue. So I cut some skewers up, and you can find a pack of these at the Dollar Tree, and I cut these up and I'm going to use them as a porch as a perch for my bird, and it's going to go into my bird cage because I'm going to make a bird cage. And so this is me painting now, and I'm going to paint this all black with acrylic black paint. I'm going to use more skewers, and these are going to be my bars. So I just measured them on my frame, and yeah, I used a pen to measure them, and then I'm going to paint them all black. Now for my perch, I am going to hot glue 2 pieces of those skewers together, the short ones that I cut up, and then 3 pieces for the top part. And this is just hot glue, Gorilla Hot Glue. I found these napkins at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to use it for the bird. I'm just going to cut out one bird. I use Mod Podge to stick the bird on. I don't have a glue stick, and I feel like that might have been easier, but Mod Podge it was, and I just put it on the back of the bird. I placed the bird on and I put a little Mod Podge on top, and I was really careful about that because it's a napkin and it can easily rip. And then since I could still kind of see through it, I could kind of see through the bird and I could see the backing, I then decided to put a second bird on top of that bird, and that actually worked out really well. And I just carefully put Mod Podge around the edging of that bird. And also I did a little bit of painting, so I painted some parts of the bird very carefully. I decided to go back to my perch and paint it with the antique gold paint. Now for the bars, what I did was I hot glued each skewer on, and I first started with the bottom and I hot glued each one. I flipped it over and then I hot glued the top and I hot glued each one, and I felt like that would be an easier thing to do. Plus for measuring wise, I didn't want to move the skewers around and mess up the whole spacing of the bars, so that's what I did. Since you can see the hot glue, I did go and do some paint touch-ups, and I just painted over the hot glue with the black acrylic paint, and any touch-ups I needed to make, I just went back and did that. Next, I am taking feathers that I got from Walmart, and I'm just gonna hot glue those on very carefully. Yes, it's pretty easy to burn yourself when hot gluing feathers. But yeah, I was pretty careful about that. I just held on to the tip part of the feather, and the ends, I made sure not to put any hot glue at the ends of the feathers. I got these words from the Dollar Tree. They come in a 3-pack, and one said spooky, so I used that one, and I painted it with the antique gold. And first I painted it black, and it didn't work out good, so then I put antique gold on top of that black. And then I also used antique gold to dry brush paint my cage, and I think that all kind of came together really nicely. I also put a little bit of antique gold paint on some parts of the flowers that you see on the print, and not everywhere. I just wanted a little touch of gold here and there. Here is the reveal. I think it came out really pretty. I really like it, and I hope you like it too, or at least I hope it inspired you to do something even cooler. So here is the final reveal of my reversible sign.